What's up, guys? We're back and we're surviving this week on the Canadian MMA Podcast. Josh, what is going on, man?
Not much, man. Just in a super hot house right now, but yeah, ready for this little mini heat wave in May to be over in BC.
Like, what the hell is that? Like, BC is known for like super temperate climate and like never getting super hot or super cold. So, why is it like 30 something degrees in May?
I have no idea. It's not really. I feel like it's not that bad if you have a proper insulated house and everything. But I'm just on the top level of a place that has like it's super old and I've got a tiny ass air conditioner, so it's just struggle right now for me.
That's weird, man. Like, heat waves in May, that's not it, man.
Yeah,
That's
I
just
don't
not it.
get it because tomorrow and onwards, it's gonna be like back to 16 degrees out and normal. So.
Yeah, like here too, it's kind of weird, but not as much. Like today it was 21, then it's gonna fall to like 11 tomorrow, but then it's gonna fall back up to like 20 for the weekend. So it's okay, but like, bro, it's not 30 something degrees in May. That's weird as fuck. That's like here in August, it's 30 degrees almost all the time. So we're used to it in the summer, but not in May, man. Usually, like the summer doesn't even start till July anymore, and it ends like in September.
Yeah, no, it's usually it doesn't get too hot like that till July, and there's heat waves, and it like August is really bad, but it's never too like especially on the island. It's everything's pretty like delicate weather wise, but I'm just in the worst possible place probably for it.
Yeah, man, that sucks. But let's try to survive this and like try to talk about some stuff, even though we, to be honest, don't got much stuff to talk about. But yeah, let's bitch a bit about the fucking PFL again, making me super super mad by putting Olivier Aubin-Mercier against Anthony Romero in the main event of their show the day before Saint Jean Baptiste, which is our national holiday in Quebec. But yeah, um, like when I saw that, I got super mad. Then I had the chance to speak with Oli, and he told me that it's basically the third guy that he was booked to fight against. So like there's a point where like can I really blame them for like booking this fight even though I ate it? Because it seems like it just every fight that they were giving early was falling through one way or another. So it becomes tougher to blame them even though I absolutely ate this fight. And then I got super mad again when I saw who Shane Burgos was booked against, who is exactly the guy that I said they were going to book him against, because that's a guy that he's probably going to be able to finish. And to be honest, like they keep setting Ali up with the best guy available each and every time. And like I know people say, yes, he's the champion, so that should be that way, but it's not. Like it's the PFL, it's a different format than the UFC, and we've seen some champions getting super easy matchups all year, like regular season on, to just be able to make it to the playoffs easily. And again, Ali is stuck against the best guy available, in my opinion. And like someday he's just gonna fumble one of these fights and he's gonna lose a split decision and he's gonna miss the playoff. And if that's again that happens against Romero, Romero's gonna get 3 points and he's also gonna miss the playoffs. And then like nobody's gonna be there except for Shane Burgos, who lost to Ali but would have fucked the other guy up, so he's gonna be there. And like they always just are able to set their guys up. Like they're gonna put two teammates against each other, like Manfio and Schultz, which is it's kind of stupid, man. Why you do that, like in the regular season? But I know they just like I won't even like use my own words. Even Ali told me that yeah, basically they're shameless as fuck. Like they don't even pretend like, and maybe that's the way to do, because every promotion is kind of lying to us, but they pretend like it's they're not, and everything is like it is and is super clean and whatever. But yeah, PFL, they just don't give a fuck. They don't try to lie to us. They're just, yeah, we like this guy, we don't like this guy, so we book this guy like shit and we book this other guy favorably.
Yeah, I'm starting to hop onto your bandwagon of hating PFL because I've tried to be a loyal fan to them and watch all of the shows and just look at it with an open mindset. But after, as a Canadian and just seeing how they match up Ali every single time, it's pretty, yeah, like shameless. They don't give a fuck. Like they aren't trying to hide anything, and yeah, like it's not even like what where whoever wins gets a spot in the playoffs because if Romero wins, unless he gets a first round knockout, and other people that are like it all like has to fall in line perfectly if Romero wins to get in, and even Ali like he needs to win a decision, and there's still he's in a like five-way tie for first place with 3 points, which is crazy. So like Burgos is obviously going to go and get a finish, but even besides that, I'm super happy for Romero to sign with a big promotion that's not in the contender series or challenger series format. But I hate the matchmaking. I would have loved for it to be against any other person. And like you were saying, how it like PFL, it doesn't matter about who the champion is matched up against because in the regular season at least, or even the playoffs, like the champion, it's a season format, so he's technically not even really the champion. And like Rob Wilkinson is fighting Ty Flores. His fight got canceled against Will Fleury, but still Will Fleury isn't one of the best fighters in that division, and Ty Flores is still like I'd say in a similar position to Romero when he was signed with them, but uh, he's quite on a prospect level wise not the same level. So it's just criminal as a, for all the Canadians because he's just so happy for Romero, but it's just such stupid matchmaking because it's a lose really.
Yeah. Like I'm happy for him if he's happy, but selfishly I hate that he's not gonna be in the UFC, man. Like he should be fighting the best guys in the world. I think he's at that phase, and it sucks, man, because he's coming in against Ali, which we say like, oh, it's the toughest test for Ali, but like, is there a worse matchup for Romero too than Ali? Because like Romero, I don't want to say he has a GSP based style, but it's almost that. Like to be honest, he's a very good all rounder with some great wrestling. That's basically what he does. And Ali is that too. His striking is getting better and better. And like as shameless as the PFL is, like Ali is too. He's absolutely not there to give a show. Like absolutely not. He doesn't care if he needs to like hold you against the fence for as long as he needs to for you to just not win. And like basically he doesn't care. So you know that Ali's gonna come in with the absolutely worst game plan for this fight. He's gonna try to take the fight away from Anthony Romero, who like comes in and has something to prove and everything. But yeah, like even though I feel like it's gonna be a close matchup, Ali has to be favored for that one. But yeah, no, I'm happy for Romero if he like if they probably told him like he like up in and yeah next year you get to start at the beginning of the season and whatever. So cool for him if he's gonna get a shot at 1 million. I think maybe if next year there's some changes in the division, he probably has a good shot. I think Romero has a good shot of beating anybody. I don't think he's beating Ali on kind of short notice, but probably maybe in a rematch with a longer camp could do it in a year where he's gonna have even more experience behind his belt and everything. But yeah, man, I just hate it because if you look at the way that they did the matchups for all the lightweights, you clearly see who they love and who they don't. Like they kind of love the Brazilian guy that missed weight, but they signed over Zfor at the PFL Challenger Series, the Bruno Miranda guy. Clearly, they kind of like him. So they booked him against Martinez, who they think is bad, and they always get fucked because he's not bad, and most like half the time he just wins the fight he's not supposed to win. Then they clearly like Clay Collard, and I think they kind of feel like they gotta give something back to Clay Collard, maybe because he kind of got fucked badly almost every year he was there. So they give him Stevie Ray, which is like such a soft test for Clay Collard. He's gonna fuck him up pretty badly. And then they fucking give the Japanese guy to Shane Burgos, which is like the most shameless matchup of them all. And like Schultz and Manfioa, they already won. They're not quite their guys anymore. So you guys could fight each other. Only you can fight like the newcomer, who's probably the second best guy in the whole division. So yeah, no, I fucking ate it, man. I ate it. I ate them. It's stupid. It's rigged. It's fucking bullshit, man.
Yeah, I was so sure that Ali was going to be getting like a pretty like a not an easy but a favorable matchup this time. Just looking at how he's already fought like everyone that had fought in like the first lightweight card for the PFL season, and just the way the other champions were getting matched up, like Wilkinson and Loughnane. But no, they like they it's like they pulled a card out of they pulled something out of their hat, and yeah, it's just more than anything, I'm just happy for Romero to get this huge spotlight against like the PFL's champion from last year in the main event of a card. But it's just criminal matchmaking. It's just could have done any other one, but I get his short notice and everything, but still.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think I don't think it's gonna get any better. So we might as well just stop talking about the fucking PFL because it's gonna get angrier and angrier. So it's Loopy Godinez fight week, man. She's fighting Emily Ducote on short notice once again because that's kind of what she does. Um, I think it's an interesting matchup because she has a good shot to win, honestly. And if she's able to win that fight, I think like it kind of cancels her loss to Jessica Pena, which was a split decision that many people think she should have won, but like she didn't win it on the scorecard. It's what like has kind of prevented me from being able to put her in the top 15 because she had lost to Pena, who had lost to Ducote, who had lost to like I think Murata. So it was kind of all a lineup of girls who lost to the one in front of her. But if she's able to beat Ducote, she it kind of cancels her loss to Jessica Pena and really establishes her as a top 15 fighter in that division, I believe. So it's a big spot for her. I'm happy that she was able to get this short notice fight, and I think she has a really good shot to win because Ducote is a like very decent fighter, but I don't think that there's nothing that she does that's really special or whatever. Man, she's a good fighter all around. I think she likes to strike a little better than she likes to grapple, which could be good for Loopy. But yeah, I don't think there's much more to say about this matchup, honestly. But yeah, good. I hope she wins, man, because that's a big one for her.
Yeah, classic Loopy taking a fight on short notice, but it's at 120 pounds instead of 115, so she should be okay with her pushing the pace and everything, and she's not afraid to get hit. And Ducote is she's seems like she's mainly a pretty like boxing oriented fighter, so if Loopy can implement the grappling, like it's probably her best part of her game that we've seen her like be the most dominant in. So I think if she can use that, then it's a pretty clear path to victory. And if she stays on the feet, it'll probably be a pretty entertaining, fun fight with them throwing down. So I'm looking forward to it, and clear path to victory for Loopy. So
And how trash is that card, man?
yeah, it's not great. It's not great at all. Like
I
yeah,
think you're being generous by saying that, to be honest, man. It's like it's one of the very bad ones that we've seen.
yeah, it's really bad. There
Like,
isn't really.
first off, I gotta say I'm a huge Mackenzie Dern hater, though. Like, so every time I see her, I'm just very pissed off.
Ever since I was on the wrong side of that, who was it against? Who was that fight she got that robbery decision win against?
Oh yeah, all of them. She should have never won a goddamn fight in her life, to be honest. But let me.
It was on the Jan versus Aljo card and Volk versus
Was it Tisha
Zombie.
Torres?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was so.
Tisha. Yeah.
Ever since that, I hated her so much just because it was just so gifted, and the commentary was so biased towards her. But Yeah, this card sucks. And who was supposed to be headlining it before? There's been so many cancellations, I can't remember like who was supposed to main event when.
It was Raquel Pennington against Irene Aldana, so it was not gonna be better.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been as much better because Raquel probably would have wanted to clinch her the whole time. But yeah, it's not going to be a great one. Looking up and down, I wish that they had Loopy a bit closer to the start just so that I could tune out after that. But, Mahashate and Borshev is going to be a good fight. Michael Johnson, you get to either see him be amazing or terrible. And
Or both.
yeah, round by round. But the Dream Chase Hooper's back, so that's exciting. Lightweight debut in the UFC. So yeah, they found him. They found him someone to fight that's beaten Jay Ellis twice in a row to start his career from the Boston camp with Cater. But I don't know. It's the lowest of low level. Looking at those prelims.
Yeah, no, except for like the co-main and the Loopy fight, I don't want to see nothing, and I probably won't even watch. To be honest, I'll tune back the day after to see the Loopy fight and maybe the co-main, but that's about it. Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
wanna go ahead.
the only thing that makes me kind of cherish it or appreciate it is that there's no UFC the week after. So I'm just happy that there's something to watch and tune into, to be honest, because I'm one of those people that would rather have there be UFC every weekend than no one UFC event every month. I just think they need to do a way better job at stacking the pay-per-views and making those worth tuning into and building, like, making better showcase cards and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I wish there was like a UFC every 2 weeks. That would be good enough for me, man. Cards would be better. You cut like 200 of these fools that like everybody that's on that card. Basically, you cut them. You cut them all. I don't care about any of them. Cut everybody, bro. They suck. It's trash. I don't want to see that shit. If I wanted to watch LFA, I would watch LFA. I would not watch UFC prelims. And like these LFA level fights are even creeping into some main cards now. So it's getting worse and worse. But yeah, like it's tough to it's tough to be excited when I've lived like the days where we had some fight nights that were basically 10 times better than some pay-per-view we get nowadays. So it's just tough, man, because back then the UFC, they wanted to create stars, and like I think they don't care about that shit anymore, because if they're stars you need to pay them, and they don't like to pay anybody. So yeah, no, I don't want to get into that discussion again, but there's one thing I want to know. I want to ask your take about one of, like, in my opinion, one of the greatest shit shows of the last 5 years. I'll even go that far. What did you think about the Jion Kim and Mandy Bohm fight, bro? That was so bad it became good at a point.
Man, don't even get me started on that. I don't even want to start talking. That was the most brutal thing ever to watch just because, just Jiyoung Kim cracked her right away. So, first of all, it was just so frustrating because it looked like she just gassed out from the wrestling, or not wrestling, but just grappling and getting almost submitted and whatnot in the first. But, like, she just cracked her right away, and I was super excited because I thought Kim was going to knock her out. But then I was just pissed off watching all that grappling when Kim had a big advantage on the feet and was fighting stupid. But that was so dumb. Kim was really, really stupid, of course, for full on kicking her and pushing her off. Then acting like she didn't do anything after. But I did see, I remember seeing Bohm sort of trip her up a bit after. It was very, like, not obvious. But it was a shit show. Bohm, like, just to top it all off, Bohm won one round on two of the judges' scorecards, and then was raising her hands and like getting hype after.
I'm the winner. I'm the winner.
Yeah, it was a very terrible acting performance too. I feel
Yeah,
like just because
she was not
right when they
even
got in there,
pretending like she was hurt anymore, man. Like,
yeah, it
at
was.
least pretend until you're backstage, please. Like,
Yeah, it was one of the first times that my girlfriend's really watched UFC with me, and I think she thinks I'm a huge dick now after that because I was so pissed off watching that live because it was just bullshit. Like that ref stopping the fight and then taking a point. Like, I feel like if you stop the fight and you don't take a point because you stop the fight, or you take a point and keep going.
Yeah, and he took a point after they already had tallied the scorecard, so they had to redo the whole shit. And like, Jeon Kim won, but she lost too many points, so she lost. So like, it was just the worst of the worst. But I had so much fun, man. It was absolutely hilarious, and I just like when. Like Mandy Bohm, she just broke the UFC, man. Everything was like for a moment, everything was broken. Nothing was working anymore. Everybody was just standing in the cage waiting for who know what. And like, bro, it was absolutely hilarious, man.
Yeah,
And
I
Mandy, yeah, like Jeon Kim really fought like she did not want to win for the first time in 5 or 6 fights. Was bro, it was just man. You cut
yeah,
these two people. I hope they're both getting cut, man.
I really hope so. Like, I didn't want to be so rude. I kind of had a little bit, like anyone that fights in TKO, I like a little bit. Spent
Yeah,
a
no.
little bit of time on the regional scene before Canada, but like the she's I really never want to see her fight on the UFC again. And that was just so horrible to watch and all of it, and uh, it was just bad, man. It was horrible.
Yeah, man, it was the worst. And yeah. Oh man. Then like the fight after they just fuck Cody Stamen over super badly like
You think
because
so?
oh, of course they did, man. That's stupid. Like he gets fouled, then he gets stood up from the advantageous
Oh,
position that he had won. Like
yeah.
it's stupid, man. It's just a absolutely stupid. I think he had lost. I think like on my first watch, I think like maybe the commentary was a little biased towards Stamen, and like I felt like maybe yeah he had won rounds 2 and 3, and then he lost. But Douglas Silva de Andrade is one of my like the fighters that nobody knows but that you like very much. He's one of them for me. So I was happy that he won. And then again, I rewatched it the day after before the podcast, and I was like, yeah, no, I think Douglas won the two first rounds quite clearly. But yeah, like in the third round, the Stamen is able to hurt him, and he gets the position and everything. Then he gets fouled. Then they take a break. They give him his break, but they resume the action back up. He absolutely got fucked over there, man.
Yeah, at first I thought you meant the judging, and I thought the first two rounds were just they could go either way watching it live. But yeah, that was after they were protecting the person that was getting fouled so much in that fight, and then go after that and just fucking screw him like that is messed up. It's just the inconsistency between even the judging from fight to fight, or yeah, just like how they score it and what constitutes meaningful damage and meaningful control and everything to just the refs and what they do. It's all got to be. It's not going to be because it's humans doing it, but yeah, I just want it to be a lot more consistent.
Yeah, that night was bad, man. Like after that, two guys stopped their own fights, basically.
Yeah,
Like Oldberg stopped his own fight, Brown stopped his own fight. Dominic Cruz was the saltiest of all salty motherfuckers. Every time Peterson was there, bro, they need like when he retires for real, he needs to fucking sell salt, like some Dominic Cruz branded salt, because this guy, bro, he's salty as fuck, man. It's
yeah, all nonsense. Keith Peterson was a good one, but apparently I was just listening to the John Anik podcast, and apparently Keith Peterson and Dominic Cruz like made eye contact, and then he said it right when that happened. But I don't know. It's still Cruz is gonna cruise.
yeah. The thing is that you can't really do this, man. Like you're supposed to be professional and everything. And
That's why we love him.
yeah, I don't know if I love him to be honest. I don't really love him to be honest. Like if I really think about it for a few seconds, but uh, it sucks because I think he's the best analyst for sure. Like he understands the game a lot, and he's kind of like me in some points. Like he understands the game so well that he doesn't appreciate it anymore. And it's like that for me with grappling sometimes. Like I said, like the other week when I see a good submission, I'm not hyped. I'm just like, I get mad at the guy who got cut for doing like the stupid ass mistake he probably did to get caught into that move. But for Cruz, it's like that, but for every aspect of MMA. So every time something like a guy does something bad, he's unable to just not shit on him badly for doing a bad move. And yeah, he's a good analyst, but I don't know. And the thing is that I absolutely love DC, but DC, man, like the only guy he can be with is Felder. Like DC and Cruz is bad. It's just bad. They bicker each other. They go off topic. It's just bad, man. Bisping and DC, it's even worse because they just banter all the time and talk about absolutely no fights. And DC and Rogan, they just go off super stupid tangents of stuff that didn't really happen in the fight, but they kind of like. Oh, I don't know why Felder is the only one that can keep everybody in check, but yeah, DC is having like trouble just staying on topic, man. I like him a lot though, but like sometimes it's just kind of want to hear him talk about the fight that's going on.
I hate sometimes DC really like I don't hate him, but on commentary he really him and Bisping are the worst in my opinion for just rambling, just going off on like off topic, and Bisping loves to talk about back when he was doing it all and everything, and yeah, it's I I like Anik a lot, and Felder's really good too, but yeah, it's I think you got to be really careful about who you put with Cruz because you can't really have DC or Bisping there because they kind of can get weird with each other. And Cruz is just super. He can't let anything go.
Yeah, Cruz will get weird with absolutely anybody, man.
Yeah.
Like this guy, and he's a problem to be honest. But yeah, and I think to be honest, I think that they should try to bring in some new people. Like there's plenty people at the desk that could try it. Lorosenko was pretty good. They should try Anthony Smith. To be honest, maybe he would stop being pissed off about everything if he had a new job and like a new thing that he could do with his life than fighting, because clearly fighting is not working very well anymore for him. So maybe they could try Anthony Smith or Chiesa or one of the guy that does the desk here and there, just to see like if you can get like maybe a fresh new combination of, because maybe one of these guys make DC work super well. But yeah, DC and Bisping, DC and Cruz, Bisping and Cruz, like that's bad. That's bad news, man. And Rogan just doesn't give a fuck anymore. Sometimes you even wonder if he knows who's fighting, man. So
yeah, Rogan's just talks about the same stuff all the time. It feels like, and he really doesn't know besides the superstars, he doesn't contribute. Like you said, it feels like he doesn't really know who's fighting. But so Anik's always super consistent. He does the work, and he always brings the energy. I love Anik the most, and the other guys like Felder does great play-by-play. So I appreciate that. But yeah.
Let's talk about some fights, man, where we're starting to see plenty fights getting announced for like all the different promotions and everything. So let's start with Samurai because it's coming very soon. It's May 26th. I think next week we're gonna be able to maybe do the bigger preview of the event. But yeah, we've got some fights that we didn't have the chance to speak about. One of them being the newly announced fight between Simon Lagarde and Amar Nessar. And I don't know at what it's 185. I thought Nessar was way bigger than that, but man, it's a rebound fight for Simon Lagarde. I don't really have much to say about that. The funny thing is that I think Simon Lagarde put himself on that card. Like, I don't know if it was really in the plan. The guy's not from Gatineau at all. And like maybe he wasn't penciled in for that event, but I think he was like really insistent on being back because he wants to right the wrong that he did against Gordon Cunningham. Basically, a bad performance for him. So yeah, he's gonna fight Amar Nassar, who's from France, and it's gonna be the first fight of the evening, and it's probably gonna be a banger because with Simon Lagarde, he either knocks somebody out pretty quick or he gets finished pretty quick. So that's kind of the way it goes. Then another big one that was announced for that card. That's gonna be one of the headlining acts of the evening, like one of the top 3-4 fights for sure. Alex Morgan is back against Takuya Nagata, and like I don't want to call cap on Morgan, but he said, "Yeah, we're taking a fight 2 weeks notice." Like this fight's been booked, man. It's been booked for a while. It's just we all knew that there was some 145ers on the UFC event, and I know that we're kind of waiting to see if maybe there was an injury or anything, and that Morgan could step in, but it doesn't look like it's happening. So he's gonna be in action May 26th against a guy that's named Takuya Nagata, who fought for like Karabin told me it's kind of the one championship contender series. I don't really know, but he's been active for Japanese promotions. He's got a 9-5 record, and he's gonna come in and try to fight Alex Morgan. Probably not gonna go super well for him, to be honest, but that's what's gonna happen there. Then we got the main event of the evening that was confirmed. Julien Leblanc, Salah Eddin Dekissi. Dekissi is 6'4" in his pro career. His two last fights were 2 years ago, but were for UAE Warriors, so the guy fought for a good promotion. He's from Morocco, but he just moved to Montreal. I think he might be training at TriStar, but mostly at Track Fit Boxing with Francis Carmon and Will and all the team over there. So we're looking forward to that. That's going to be the main event because Julien is the well-known fighter in Gatineau. He sold about 500 tickets, and he's well known with the people at the arena because basically he helps to train the players of the junior hockey team back there. So Julien is going to be the main event against Salah Eddin Dekissi. It's going to be a great matchup. And then we've got Kevin Popovic against Fodel Bentayeb, who is a guy from France. I don't really know short-ish notice. Like Kevin was supposed to fight Irving Molina, but Irving Molina ended up fighting for FLA. So he wasn't gonna fight like 2 or 3 weeks later for Samurai, especially after the crazy ass fight he had for FLA where he got finished and everything. So it's a guy from France, Fodel Bentayeb. He's 2-2, and he's gonna step up and try to beat Kevin, who's gonna try to be on his 5th straight win after starting his career 0-2. And I think we spoke about the other fights. Oh, no, there's one that I want to touch on briefly. Matt Bednarek against Guillaume Poulain. It's going to be one of the first fights of the evening, and I'm really interested in that one, weirdly enough, because it's a 0-2 guy fighting a 0-3 guy. But like the thing is that Guillaume Poulain is 0-2, but to be honest, like it's not a good 0-2. Like his 2 pro fights went pretty badly for him, to be quite honest. And Matt Bednarek, like, yes, his first fight didn't go well at all because he fought Dorian Dokai, and he got submitted in the first round because he's a 170 and he was fighting at 185. But then his 2 other fights, there was the crazy ass fight he was winning at Prospect and he got guillotined. And there was the Matt Smith fight at BTC, which he lost, but was a very close back and forth war. So Bednarek basically comes in as an 0-3 fighter who could easily be 2-1 if a couple of things had went different. And so that's why I'm really intrigued by this fight. And I feel like it's a good chance for both guys to finally get a win on at the pro level. And yep, that's about it. Then we speak about David Moon and Patrick Connors. That's another one. David Moon from TriStar was fighting for Octagon. I think it's in Slovenia, something
Germany
like that.
too, maybe.
Germany, yeah, somewhere back there, like Eastern Europe. and now he trains at TriStar, and he's gonna fight Pat Connors, the smallest of all Pat Connors, who now lives in Ottawa. So basically, even though I think much of his people are still in Barrie, which is very far away, it's kind of a hometown fight for Pat Connors here. So we're happy to have him back.
Yeah, man, they've released a lot of fights in the last like week or two. I guess the commission finally gave them the go ahead, but I'm super excited for all of those. It's good, like they've got a huge, big 3 or 4 fights near the top. I think it's going to be, like always, a great event that Samurai puts together.
Yep, and I think there's one fight left to be announced, but it's going to be a pro debut for Alain Majoric, who's an amateur champion, who is from Gatineau, who trains with Julien Leblanc, Isaac Blais, and Guillaume Poulain, and Pierre Patry, and all these guys. Oh, the Pierre Patry fight hasn't been announced too. So yeah, there's basically 2 fights left to announce, and this guy's making their pro debut, so they, like in Quebec, they need to go before the commission and fucking do a little, I don't know, man, exam or whatever the fuck to get their license, and that happens like week of the fight. So I guess we're gonna get these fights announced week of the fight. But yes, the other promotion I wanted to get into briefly is Durham Fight Series, who are bringing in a crazy lineup, man. To be honest, for a first-time show, they got a crazy lineup going on. It is going to be in Oshawa on June 3. Unfortunately, there's no stream for this event, which absolutely pains me because, like, there's James Clark, Tyler Wilson, Tariq Ismail, like, lots of fighters that we want to see, Matt Dawson, and, like, we won't get to see it. Fortunately enough, Andy's going to be there, and I think if nothing changes from now till then, he's going to be able to come on the podcast and recap this event for us. And then the guys at Durham told me that they were going to release the fights afterwards. Like, there's a crew there to film and everything. There's just no stream, but we're going to be able to see these fights at a later date, which is really exciting because it's a good event, man. The main event of the evening is James Clark, like I said, who is fighting a Mexican fighter named Ricardo Hernandez, which is about the most classic Mexican name that you're gonna find. But let me see which one is it. It's probably that guy. Yeah, it's that guy. He's coming in with a 10-10 record, and he's not on a good streak. So basically, I think that's all you guys need to know about this matchup for the big homie James Clark. Then Tyler Wilson fighting another Mexican guy, Alfredo Larios. We've got Walel Watson back in Canada to fight Tariq Ismail. Tariq Ismail has been absent for a little while. I don't know, last time, did he fight for UAE Warriors or did he never fight for them? Yes, no, it was for Brave. Exactly. He went 2-1 for Brave. His last fight was his first pro loss in his career, but it was against Bernardo Sopai, who's a champion back there, I believe. And he's like, oh no, he lost his belt, but he's 10-2 in his career. So Ismail is coming in with a 6-1 pro record, hasn't fought till since 2020, so it's been 3 years. And he's gonna fight Walel Watson on this event. Then we've got the pro debut of Bouba Picard is gonna fight Manuel Mayorkin. Then scrolling down, we've got Victor Auregi coming in to fight Ryan Yapsam, which was booked plenty times for BTC. Always fell through. His opponents got injured, whatever. But Yapsam's gonna be back. Then a local matchup here: Michael Asifo, Sebastian Lopez. Both guys lost their pro debut. They're gonna try to make it back. And then we've got Matt Ambry making his pro debut against Luis Manuelos. And one of the big ones, if not the big one of the card, is Silvestre Sanchez, who absolutely fucked Matt Smith up, who's coming back to fight Justin Condi, who just knocked Sean Wallace out in absolutely crazy fashion. So yeah, that's gonna be the lineup for this event. And man, if like I said, for a first ever event, they got some good names on that one, man.
Yeah, it's they're really like breaking out onto the scene with this event. It's pretty huge, just with all of those names, and that last matchup especially is gonna be a banger. Like both those guys throw down heavy and are looking like they have bright futures. And you got James Clark in the main event, which is awesome. A couple more great fights sprinkled throughout there. So, uh, I almost don't want to tune to, or show up to the podcast with Andy showing up and just go ghost mode till those fights are on YouTube, just because they're such great ones. I don't want to get spoiled without being able to watch it.
Yeah, no, I feel you, man, but it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, no,
Let's
I'm gonna be here, but it, just wish I could watch it live.
Yeah, no, me too, I wish. Then let's talk about some BFL, bro, because we knew that event was gonna be absolutely insane, but it's kind of confirmed now it's gonna be absolutely fucking crazy. And we've got almost, I think, all the fights. Like we've spoke about, like the Xavier Nash and Achilles. We've spoke about the Mitch fight. Of course, we had Mitch. We spoke about a couple of these fights, but more and more are getting official now. Um, and one I really want to talk about first is Johnny Broad and Makinde Adeyemi. What do you think about that one?
I think it's got potential to be a huge banger. Like McKinday showed some good grappling in that last fight, and also like he was able to stay safe on the ground with Raf. But Johnny's he's made the little departure over to karate combat. Didn't go his way, but he's shown that he has some great potential in uh, in the BFL cage. But you have to think that McKinday's probably going to want to come out and try to grapple him, seeing how the last MMA fight went for Johnny, and McKinday's shown some good top control. But Johnny's super entertaining on the feed, and McKinday can definitely throw down as well. So I can't wait for that one. That's a big sleeper fight. If anyone, I'd be surprised if someone's sleeping on that though.
Yeah, no, I don't think they are gonna be sleeping on that one. Then we've got another crazy wrestling champion making his debut. Aso Palani fighting Blake Sigvaldeson. Yeah,
Now Blake had to pull out from injury in that one apparently.
down, down.
Yeah.
That sucks. Next up, we've got Josh. Josh is back fighting Francisco Villanueva. The Mexicans are coming in crazy in every promotion. Did Samurai start that shit?
I think so. I think they kind of opened the floodgates to Canada for all of them, and they're like, "Oh shit, this place is a good place to go and fight and get paid." And
Yeah,
yeah,
and they always show up. They almost never win, but they always show up, and they're always better than we thought that they were gonna be.
yeah, they always bring it for. That's like 100% confirmed. You know they're gonna show up. It's not like that KSI type of fight with a Mexican. They're coming down to throw down and bring it. And the interesting thing about the Josh is fighting Francisco Villanueva, and then you got Jamie Siraj, one of the like uh, big spotlight fights on this card, is fighting Esteban Sedano, who's also from the same gym, Monsters MMA, down in Guadalajara, Mexico. So two guys from the same team, and two crazy fights.
Yeah, absolutely. Another one that's gonna be pretty good, I feel, is Arthur Duflou coming in from France, fighting Gagan Gill. Uh, yeah, Gagan is a banger, bro. It's one of the guys that I try to never miss his stuff.
Yeah, he's been on a crazy streak from that like that fight with John to like the KO versus Adam and Ryan. Uh, I've been lucky enough to be there for those last two, and it's just been making me excited to see him fight again, because he's a bad man in that cage, and he's just got such like crisp striking. This bringing him in a guy that's 2-0, but he's a great grappler by the looks of it. So pretty traditional striker versus grappler fight, and yeah.
Then we've got another Mexican, Daniel Palomares against Navid.
Yeah, I don't know much about Palomares Palomares, but it looks like it should be a I don't know. They're bringing it in for a bounce back fight for Navid, of course, but it's
Yep.
always super exciting to see Navid come in and just show his growth in the cage from fight to fight because he's so young in MMA and he just went into a split decision with Xavier Nash, who's one of Canada's top lightweights. So I'm excited. I'm always just excited to see the improvements Navid makes from fight to fight.
Yep. And then finally, the guy that you were sending me his picture, and you were like, "Who was that guy?" And I knew that I knew him, but I could never guess who it was. And it was Bruno Santos, and I know him because he fought Elias Theodorou in an awful, awful, awful fight. But yeah, I could have never guessed that it was him. But he's gonna be here, and he's fighting Jared Revel for the belt. Do you know if that's the main event?
Yeah, it's like it's not I think it might actually be confirmed, but yeah, I think so.
Yep, because Dayon and Rodrigo could be. I think Achilles and Xavier could should be, honestly. I think that's the most exciting fight. But no, Jared is a known main eventer, and Santos is coming in at like 19-4 too. So the good guys with very extensive records, I feel like they probably deserve to headline this event. But there's one fight that I have yet to speak about because that's the one for me. That's the one that I'm gonna go to this event for. That I'll be just open. Both guys have so much fun because I will not be able to root against any of these two guys. But it's Maxime Soucy and Nick Ouellet, man. The battle of the Quebecers, Trois-Rivières against Rimouski. Let's fucking go, man.
Yeah, this one's gonna be like super high level fight, and they're only what, 2-1 and against 3-1, but it's gonna look like two guys that have double digit wins because uh, I'm super high on both of them, of course. A big fan of the Ouellet Bros. But Susie's also that fight against Josh. He looked super good and like technical on the feet, was able to move, and of course it's got to be his game plan against Nick here. And Nick's probably gonna want to try to get it down, but there were some moments against Mateo like he wasn't scared to throw his hands. So I don't know how this one's gonna go, but I'm super excited for it, just as you are.
Absolutely, man. And then let's look at some unified fights. Some unified MMA fights, not some unified boxing fights, because that I, to be honest, couldn't really care about it if even if they asked me to. But yep, we've got some fights that are getting officialized for the next Ontario card. Let's begin with the return of Ergis Sigera in a welterweight fight against Bradley Desir. And yep, Ergis, he's the man. He's an absolutely reckless wrestler. He's got that Ben Askren style ground and pound, like I like to say. And he's gonna be fighting Bradley Desir, who is a 10-7 fighter. Lost his two last fights, but he's pretty much win two, lost two, win two, lost two all the way throughout his career. He's fought some good guys. So for a guy who's only 5-0 like Ergis, it's a big step up in competition for him, and I really look forward to see what's up with that. Then we've got Vlad Kazbekov, who's gonna be fighting Gary Conkole, another guy from the United States. Pretty much every fight that have been announced for that card as of the late is Canada versus USA. But Gary Conkole comes in with a 5-3 record against Vlad, who is 7-5, was kind of on a little streak, but he lost his last fight to I don't remember who, but got dominated last unified card. So that's gonna be one fight that's gonna happen. Then we've got the Omi Tommy Theocaris who is going to be back in action against another American, Nathan Pierce, with a 4-4 record. So that's one of these matchups. Then we've got Bobby Poulter, Josh Jackson. That's a huge fight because Poulter is 4-1. Jackson is coming in with a 7-3 record on a 2-fight winning streak. Fought Michael Lilly, who was once a prospect before losing all his fights and being a 7-7 fighter. But Josh Jackson, 7-3 records. That's another big step up for Bobby, who only has 5 fights. He's 4-1. And then we move up to a pro debut for Cesar Bonilla fighting Taylor Cahill from the United States. Taylor is already 1-0 in his career. Then big interim title fight in the bantamweight division. We've got TJ Gautreau, 7-1, fighting UFC veteran Eric Shelton, who is now 16-8 and who won his last fight against Dwight Joseph, who was a 12-0 undefeated prospect. Gave him his first loss, and is still a very good fighter since he left the UFC. So like he kind of had a little slump in the UFC in his basically for his whole UFC career. But I remember, basically you look at his record: a split decision to Pantoja, split decision to Jared Brooks, a decision loss to Alex Perez back when Alex Perez was good and not pulling out of every fight before they happened. So very impressive record for Shelton. Tisha, that's a absolutely momentous matchup for him. Then Cody Chovanchek back against Marcos Lopez, who is a 5-5 fighter. So a 500 fighter, but the guy with 10 pro fights against Cody. And we've got a double pro debut, Mark Mosher and Clayton Pye. And guys, watch Clayton Pye go. This guy is a collegial wrestler, super high level, training at NTT. He's got the team behind him. He's one of the best prospects to enter the pro scene in 2023 by far. So I'm super excited for Clayton Pye's debut. I've got my eye on him, and I've been having my eye on him for a while. So I can't wait for this one, man. And just one final fight before we go is the BTC 20 main event. Is going to be for the lightweight championship. Adam Asenza is back against Marcos Polo Reyes, which is a very interesting matchup. Polo Reyes has been going around pretty much everywhere since he left the UFC, and now he's going to be in BTC fighting Adam Asenza, so that's going to be good.
Yeah, that fight is sure. I'm sure it's going to deliver. I guess since it's going to bring it on the feet, and yeah, I think it's going to be super entertaining. I'm looking forward to it, and that's a perfect main event for a card. Perfect way to start announcing the fights for that one. And as for Unified, that's shaping up to be a great card. They brought their talent from out east onto that card that they've all been teasing the signings of recently. So. Big step up for Tisha Guthro as well, which is looking like that's going to be a great fight. Great main event for that. So I'm looking forward to it. And it's just Unified did a really good job of establishing a base of fighters from that region to sell tickets and put on those events, because they're all fun to watch and they've got some good. They're pretty popular on the Canadian scene.
Yeah, to be honest, I think Unified scooped all the best prospects from Ontario. We still got the BTC cards and the prospects fights. We've got they got their guys, let's say the Matt Smiths for BTC, or Isabel and Anton for prospects, and they got their more established names like the Michael Imperados and the Essenzas and Siri, but Unified really scooped up the T-Shays, Cody's, fucking all these top level prospects that we want to see fight. Bobby Poulter, even Ergis Segura, all these guys that we feel like are maybe probably next to jump into the UFC from the Ontario scene. I think Unified scooped up most of them, so They did a really good job there, and I'm really hyped up for this card. I think it's is it June 24th? No,
Maybe the 23rd.
June 23. Yeah. So what was June 23 that we were speaking about? Like a couple of yeah, there was something else on June 23, but fuck, I don't recall.
You said Durham?
No, that's June 3.
Oh, three. I couldn't tell you then.
Yeah, no, I don't remember. And people that are listening are probably gonna be, hey, it's that shit. How did you guys forget? But I'm kind of fried, and Josh is kind of out right now, so we don't even know what we're talking about anymore. So, do you got anything else you want to touch on, man?
No, just sort of chill, like having a moment of zen right now with the break in the Canadian fight scene after that month of March, and now I'm super excited just talking about all these fights for June to start and end of May for Samurai, because that's a crazy card to get it all started. Like really three marquee or four now, because with the introduction of Durham Fighting Series. For really great events in a month span.
Yeah, and even Fight League Atlantic are gonna be on June 24th presenting an event,
Yeah,
and we've got Absolute. I believe that is the day after Samurai, so it's gonna be another crazy stretch coming up very soon.
yeah, just with those big ones with like the bigger, more popular fighters and getting in vets like that. But it's also going to be great with those other shows. Like excited to see FLA. I think they might have a good vet or two coming out there that people are pretty aware of. So looking
Yep.
forward to that. And yeah, Ramil Kamalov in the fighting for the title at Absolute will be good. It's, yeah,
The Absolute guys had me looking twice, man, because there's a guy who's fighting Nick LeBlanc whose name Elias Palomera, and he really looks like the Palomares guy who's fighting Navid. So I was like, bro, tell me this guy is not booked for two Canadian shows in like a week apart, basically May 27th and June 9th. But yeah, no, it's absolutely not the same guy. But yeah, Nick LeBlanc and Elias Palomera, that's going to be a good fight. We've got our boy Ramil Kamilov fighting against a guy who's got 18 pro fights. He's 9-9, so it's a 500 record, but very experienced. Mac Larson's going to be back against another Mexican, Roberto Pixley, who's 5-3. And one fight that hasn't been announced yet, but it's the craziest fight on the event. Chris Bryan from Champions Creed, who is 1-1 in his pro career because he fought, I think, Hunter Lee in his pro debut and he lost, and then won a fight after that. He's going to be fighting Tyler Freeman, Montreal's own Tyler Freeman, finally making his pro debut. So that's a crazy matchup, man. We've got like the fight against the Canadian against Mexicans that we kind of know like which way it's gonna go, even though we don't want to say it. But Freeman and Bryan, that's a crazy ass fight because Tyler has been waiting so long for this pro debut. Got like every one of his fights canceled all the time, basically. So yeah, he's not gonna waste that opportunity. So yeah, man, absolutely crazy stretch of MMA coming up in June when I'll be in Vancouver, and we'll probably have the less time to watch it like ever. But yeah, I'm gonna find a way to get this all figured out for sure, man.
yeah, like always.
Yup. We're not lacking, man. Yep. Before we go, I just want to say also thanks for all the people that shared the new page. We're already up at like a 1,000 like, which is pretty good. To be honest, I knew that like I wasn't gonna have all my people back, but like the way that everybody was sharing and thinking, it's pretty cool to see, man. That everyone is down to support, man. So thanks a lot to everybody. And Josh, if you don't have nothing left, then I think we'll just get out of here, man.
Yeah, I'm good to go, man.
Let's go. We're out. See you next week.